Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh Bashem Al Shai, Bashem Rukakodash, Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect out there. Shalom to you all. Anyway, I'm going to entitle this video. I had a bunch of titles in my head, but I'll go with this one. And I may add to change the title. So the title of the video is A Cheerful and Good Heart Will Have a Care of His Meat and Diet. A cheerful and good heart will have a care of his meat and diet. I could have said, quoted Paul, the Apostle Paul, bodily exercise profiteth little, but it does profit. So Paul said, yeah, it profits you, but it profits little when you compare it to the spiritual exercise. So there's a bunch of titles that, like I said, was rolling in my head. I said I'll stick with this one. And I put together a bunch of precepts. I got, as you can see, I had put these together first in this particular order. Then I had put these together mostly from the Apocrypha. So these scriptures are not in total order. These kind of are, like from here. But there's no way I'm going to hit all these scriptures. So, I mean, you can take a picture, a still of it, and you got all these scriptures. You read it in your leisure. So, basically what I'm going to get into is being healthy, knowing how to somewhat heal yourself. See, when you go back to the ancient world, they didn't have hospitals. They had physicians, but they even had prophets. Prophets and great men of Israel knew about the herbs. They knew about how to heal. But then they had specific men that were physicians. That's all they, which meant that they weren't prophets, but they knew how to heal Israel. And but the prophets also knew about herbs and how to heal. So when you brothers say that you're a prophet, are you in shape? Is your body, do you have a sound body? If you have a sickness, do you know how to heal it? Hey, a lot of y'all in Israel panicked when the sea ragamuffin came out. A lot of y'all panicked. A lot of y'all straight up panicked. Well, General Yohana said, go ahead and take it. Now, I don't know if he got paid off to say that or he panicked. I don't know if he panicked. He said he took it. Bishop Nathaniel had said the question came up from a nurse. I guess she was a sister in IUIC, and she was a nurse. And the first people that they hit, they said everybody got to hit it, and they hit people with it in classes. So anybody in the medical field, doctors, orderlies, nurses, LPNs, which is licensed practical nurses, registered nurses, RNs. What is the other one? It's lower than that. Nurses assistant, which is like lower than a licensed practical nurse. So you have many. You have dietitians in the hospital because they give you your food based upon your ailment. But the food that they give you is killing you. You know, my demon was in the hospital, and they would bring up food, and I would look at it and I said, "This food, this food makes you sick. This food ain't helping you. This food makes you sick." And they were giving us soda. They would give a ginger ale and milk, which is nothing but mucus. So the doctors, I mean, these hospitals, they specialize in trauma. If you get shot, if you stroke out, if you catch a heart attack, they'll use prescriptions to open up, your circulation and so forth. Stop the bleeding if you got stabbed up or shot. Like if you go anywhere where Jake is, where he had a hospital, you go to the emergency room, Jake is all up in there, all messed up. And most of the time is for reasons from eating, from bad diet. Because what's around you in the hood? I'm gonna do a video on that. I'm gonna go to certain hoods and just check out when the weather breaks, and just check out the restaurants, the supermarkets, what Jake eats, and then I'm gonna go around where Edom, them upper crust Edomites, and even Jake, go to their hood and look and find out what type of restaurants is around there. You go to certain upper crust Edomites and Jake that want to kiss Esau's ass. Edor, it's a combination of Esau and Edom. Like I said, it's like clockwork, man. They'll have exclusive restaurants with top chefs, but it's going to cost you. Then if you go to their supermarkets, they're either going to Whole Foods or they're going to like Trader Joe's, or like you have a Mama Greens or whatever. You have these green related supermarkets now, where basically everything in there is organic superfoods, and that's always in the Edomite neighborhood. You ain't never gonna find it in the Jake neighborhood. But wait a minute, Tahar. I've been to Harlem and they got a Whole Foods in Harlem. Why you think they got a Whole Foods in Harlem? When did the Whole Foods come to Harlem? When Esau started coming up in there through a thing called gentrification. They push out Jake and Esau comes up in there. You have Starbucks, because they're gonna push Jake further north, and that's what they do. That's what they do. Apostle Ramla had the video on Central Park, how that was Jake down there, and they wanted Jake out to build this park. So Jake was living all where Central Park is today, and they pushed Jake out. Jake was living down in the Wall Street area, and they pushed him further north, up into Harlem. Now they want Harlem. But like I said, you go to upper middle class, upper class educated, Edomites with degrees and so forth, doctors, lawyers, professionals, business people. Go to their surroundings, man. And the supermarkets and the restaurants, they're all healthy. And then, hey, Apostle Gabar said he does his walk. And I used to do a walk, but I took off kind of because of the winter. So we were just talking. It was myself, Apostle Gabar, and Bishop Shakaran. And we were just talking, and Apostle Gabar, he rides bike. He might do 30 miles riding a bike, and but he has this watch that connects to an app to your smartphone, and if you walk, it'll give you your heart rate. And he was showing me his heart rate, because his heart rate was kind of high. His heart rate was 80 before he started exercising, and I said that's kind of high. And he looked at the average heart rate, and they're saying it was 80. Now, back in the day, I remember the average heart rate, a healthy heart rate is supposed to be no more than 72. So now they're saying it's 80, which is not good. And they raised the bar. And he was showing me his heart rate, and his heart rate I said, what's your resting heart rate? I believe he said it was under 60. I said, that's excellent. I said, do you know marathon runners, their heart rate at resting heart rate is 40, 45. That's supreme shape. That's excellent tip-top shape. Boxers, their heart rate, when they're in tip-top shape, their heart rate should be in the 40s, in the mid to upper 40s into the low 50s. Because when you exert yourself, your heart rate goes up. So if you have a resting 100 beats per minute heart rate, and you exercise, that heart rate is going to go up past 200, and you can die, man. That's too much stress on your body. That's why you got to ease into it. So A marathon runner, if his heart rate is 40 beats per minute, when he's running, his heartbeat might go up to about 80 beats, maybe 100, which normally that's people's resting. This guy's running for 2 hours and change. So part of becoming an athlete, what people are finding out, it's a diet. Back in the day they ate regular food. Now you have dietitians, you have nutritionists, you have a strength and condition coach. You have coaches that specialize in weight cut, because if you're in MMA, boxing, whatever, you got to make weight. A guy that's 100 and, well, let me see. MMA is 170 pounds is the weight limit for a welterweight. And boxing is 147. A boxer that's 147 pounds in between fights, guaranteed, depending on the fighter, if he's in between fights, he ain't getting ready for them fight. He had a big fight, got a big payday. He's enjoying himself. It's 3 months after having that fight. I guarantee you, he don't be surprised if the guy's 180, 190 pounds. Some guys kind of stay in certain. They active, so they might be 170, but they ain't walking around at no 147. You dry out. If you've been in sports, which I have, you learn about all that. You learn your body. You know your body. But I'm gonna get into these precepts in a minute. But we were talking. A matter of fact, me and Apostle Ramlab, he's out of state. He's going to different states. But he was out there because of he had a situation with parasites. So he got with the elder Demasha Pot, or we call him D-Mash, which they shouldn't call him that. So we were talking, then I was talking to D-Mash, Demasha Pot, and we would just go. I said, how'd you learn all this? He said, I learned it from you. I learned it from you, Gabar, and Ramla. Y'all do them videos, and I just look shit up and figure stuff out. It had it, because your body everybody has parasites. The saying goes, if you can put 2 fingers on your wrist where your vein is, that's your pulse. They said if you got a pulse, you got parasite, meaning everybody got parasites, but some people got more parasites than others. Your body's supposed to have a certain amount of parasites or bad bad biotics, as opposed to probiotics. When we was in Egypt, in the book of Numbers, Israel was saying how they missed the fish, which is omega-3, which is good for you. Good good fat. They said we missed the onions, the leeks, and the garlic, which is all, probiotic. You got prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic. So look them up. And I take in probiotics. I take a lot of probiotics into my system, for your overall health, but you got to exercise too. So me and Apostle Ramlab, we were talking. They were traveling. They were coming back from Atlanta, and they were on their way back to the Midwest, and we were talking about the particular brother in that particular camp had passed, not about a couple of weeks ago, but he was sick. He was sickly, and he was kind of back and forth in the hospital. He wound up having to get he's in the spiritual realm, or he's good right now. But he had a triple bypass, but then the triple bypass went good, but successful, but he was bleeding, and they couldn't stop the bleeding. And he bled out. He just died, after the operation. Now, no one should ever be in a situation where they on a hospital bed getting to be cut open, because herbs heal that. When your heart is bad, you need a double bypass or a bypass or what do you call it? Stent, I think you call it. what you could do is you right away you change your diet. You know, you got a cancer, any type of cancer you're diagnosed with, they tell you better get a chemo. A chemo kills you. Uh, so what you do is you change the diet. Dr. Bobby Price, y'all should know about this brother, the Israelite brother. He don't know he's an Israelite, but he probably watched some of our videos. He was talking to somebody. I saw this video about a year or more ago, and I think he was being interviewed, and somebody said, "What will you do?" Because he's he's in vegan, you know, he's in the health and all that herbs. As a matter of fact, we get his detox. You know, we do that every couple of months, and I believe it was in the form of interview, if I'm not mistaken. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the person, if it was an interview, he said, "What if you find out that you have cancer, Mr. Dr. Bobby Price?" He said, "The first thing I would do is leave America." Because America, basically he said that because America is stressful. And we are stressed out people from slavery. Being in slavery was stress. Being taken from the other side of the world, shackled up in the bottom of a hull of a ship, that's stress. Working out in the field, that's stress. Getting beat is not knowing that the master's gonna kill you. Women not knowing that the master's gonna rape them or sell your babies. That's nothing but stress, which is acid forming in your body. So Jake's was not all that healthy, you know, because of the stress. You can be super healthy, eat all the right foods, but if you're stressed out all the time, all that healthy food goes to nothing. You become unhealthy. And you got a lot of athletes, like boxers, that they're done. You know, they can't fight. They what's the term? They get punchy, or they can't perform. They get old overnight, and it's not because of the boxing matches so much. It's because of the training that you do. You're breaking your body down. That's why you got to know how to build your body back up by rest and proper nutrition, proper herbs, and so forth. That's why these guys that are on the top of their game, that make multi-millions of dollars a fight, you know, just for one night of fighting, you know, 46 minutes of fighting, not even an hour of fighting. They'll have doctors, they'll have strength and condition coach, they'll have dietitians, they'll have nutritionists, you know, they'll have all kinds. Then you got your boxing coach. You know, you got all these things for you, and they tell them, they said, "Look, you had the big fight. I want you to take camp. Don't work out for a month. Just chill out, enjoy yourself, and then when you come back, you can do some activity. You know, maybe play tennis, maybe go for a walk. But now you have your camp for a big fight. Now, before you go to camp, now if I'm training somebody, before you go to camp, you have a pre-camp, meaning you work out on your own. You do things. You might start running a little bit, jumping rope, doing your push-ups. But you're not in tip-top shape. So when you come in the camp, for the camp, you're supposed to be in some kind of shape. You're supposed to be, you know, maybe 60%, 70% in shape, not completely out of shape. That's what Ali used to do. That he tore his body up because he used to be in tip-top shape, but in between fights he would gain a whole lot of weight and eat a lot of sweets and sweet potato pie and pancakes and all that, and then he would have to go to the gym, and he would go in the gym completely out of shape. You can't do that. It tears the body down. That's why he died at the age that he died. The whole body was torn up. Same thing for them. But you got to know when to get out the game. You got to know when to rest. You got to know your body. So anyway, coming back to the beloved brother, he's in the spiritual realm, and we knew this before he went in the hospital and had the operation. He was a big brother, and then even, you know, I believe Pastor Ramlab got on him about, you know, you eating too much. So I was going into the details. I said, how much was he? He was almost 300 pounds. and he was only 5'8". He's my height, 5'8", whatever, 5'7", 5'8". I said that's way too big, you know. And we had some brothers that had passed in the years that the brothers would say, well, this is the video of the brother. And the first thing I noticed, there was one brother when he was in the camp. He was overweight. He was he was overweight. He was about 100 pounds, I would say, over his weight. And but he was shaking. You got guys holding posts and they're stiff. This guy was like shaking, man. I said, yeah, that his body's full of what do you call it? What do you call that shit? I had it in my mind earlier. What the hell is it? Radicals. Somebody can help me out. Radicals. Damn, what's it called? Something radicals. Where your body gets oxidized. Free radicals. Free radicals. Free radicals. So let's go to that. And I'm gonna get into the scriptures. But anyway, he's in the spiritual realm. He had an operation for triple bypass. It was successful, but it couldn't stop the bleeding. So something was wrong with his body, where his body couldn't regulate itself, to clot the blood, to stop the blood. So he passed, But like I said, he was about 180, 280 pounds. He was only 5'8". He's relatively average size. And I said that's way too big. That's his BMI, which is body mass index, probably had to be maybe something like 40%. Meaning 40% of your body is fat. You should be weighing maybe 150 pounds instead of almost 300 pounds. So that's close to a body mass index, BMI, of almost 50%, which that's not healthy at all. That's not healthy at all. So, being in this truth, saying that you're a prophet and one of the elect and all that, you gotta be in some kind of shape. Myself, when I weigh myself, I'm about, depending on the day, the time of the week, I'm about 10 to 15 pounds over my high school weight. And when I was in high school, I was very athletic. I was in tip-top shape when I was in high school. Like I said, I was about, depending on the time, 165, 170 pounds. Now I'm at most 185. Most of the time I'm 180. So I'm 10 to 15 pounds over my high school weight, and I can drop down to 170. There's no way in hell, if you was a particular weight, if you was 180 pounds in high school, you played football or whatever, and you 280 or 200, 300 pounds, that's not good. That's not good. And you can't say you eat healthy. It's something that you ain't doing right. You lying. You probably eat healthy in front of people. When people not around, you eating garbage. None of you brothers should be drinking soda. Point blank, period. Even recently, the elder Manatazakba, I did a video and he put a comment. He said, I got to cut down on that soda, something to that effect. And I believe he said something. I said, yeah, you got to cut down on the soda. You can't drink soda. I said, you got to cut it, cold turkey. He said, I don't drink it as much, but I still drink it. And I said, you shouldn't be drinking those. That's a sin right there. Drinking soda is a sin. Do you know how much? Let me do this. I got the precepts. I'm gonna give you the precepts. Okay, let me see. There's black cumin seed oil, which is good for you. Free radicals, meaning okay, I think the Edomite woman is going to start speaking. A typical, a type of unstable molecules that is made during normal cell metabolism, chemical changes that take place in a cell. Free radicals can build up in cells and cause damage to other molecules, such as DNA, lipids. Lipids is Latin for fat, and proteins. The damage may increase the risk of cancer and other diseases. There's a thing called what is it called? Telomeres. Telomeres, meaning that's not what I want. Let me do this. I believe this is it. Okay. Telomeres. That's a telomeres. A compound structure at the end of a chromosome. So let's look this up. Telomeres. Let me do this. Telomeres. When you're a baby, the telomeres are long. The older you get, the telomeres get shorter. The sicker you are, the telomeres get shorter. That's the telomeres is like a lifespan indicator. The shorter your telomeres get, the closer you are to dying, and you're always sick. You have certain people they're always in the hospital. And so the telomere is a region of repetitive DNA sequences at the end of a chromosome. Telomeres protect the ends of chromosomes from becoming frayed or tangled. When they become frayed or tangled, that's when you have sicknesses and diseases and cancers. Each time a cell divides, the telomeres become each time the cell divides, the telomeres become slightly shorter. Eventually, they become so short that the cell can no longer divide successfully, and the cell dies. So if the cell dies, you die. If the machine breaks down, we break down. I had to throw that in there. And telomeres is like, when you were a kid, you had the shoelaces and the little caps at the end of the shoelaces that would fall off, and the shoelace would get all frayed. Then you got to get new shoelaces. I don't know what we did to a kid, but I mean when we was a kid. But now that don't happen to your shoes. I guess we used to mess around with our shoes or whatever the case may be. But think of telomere as the shoelace with the cap off. When the cap, that white cap comes off or falls off, then the shoelaces get all frayed up or tangled or whatever, come apart. So that's the end. So people that are sick and they're always in the hospital and they always near death, cancers, whatever, guarantee you their telomeres are short. Or they might not even have it. But you can reverse that and rebuild your telomeres when you exercise and you eat properly and you eat properly, which includes herbs. So Okay, where am I? Also, we were talking, coming back to myself and Apostle Gabar and Bishop Sakurine. We were talking about a particular individual that overweight. So I said, you got to get on this guy, man. You know, he's got a certain condition. And then Apostle Gabar said that he even had trouble walking up a flight of stairs. I said, how many flights of stairs? He said, a flight of stairs. I said, that's not good. That's not good. And he's in a hospital for a condition, a serious condition you can die from. Brothers shouldn't be, if your frame is set up where you can hold 170 pounds, 180 pounds, 150 pounds, you shouldn't be double that. You know, you shouldn't be. If your frame is 150 pounds, the perfect frame that you have is 150 pounds, right? You might be 5'6" or whatever. You know, if you are walking around instead of weighing 150 pounds, you weighing 250 pounds. That's 100 excess pounds of too much weight on you. And that weighs, and you're not exercising, you're not eating right. It's a sin to go to McDonald's. It's a sin to go to Burger King. It's a sin to go to Wendy's. And we don't go to none of them restaurants, man. And we try our best to eat healthy, you know? So, let me see. Like I said, I use myself as an example. I'm about anywhere from 10 to 10 to 13 pounds over my high school weight when I was athletic in high school. Okay, so you know what I'm gonna do now? I'm gonna give you these precepts, and there's no way in hell I'm gonna cover all these precepts, but I'm gonna cover because I was putting these precepts together, and more precepts kept coming, kept coming, because I started putting these together. I don't know, around about here, but then I said, well, let me go to the Apocrypha, and I said, let me put these on top. I want to hit these first. So it says, this is Ecclesiastes 30, verse 25. A cheerful and good heart will have a care of his meat and diet. Okay, so let me do this. So I'm going to let the scripture speak. Okay, let me go to the there is no riches above a sound body, sound meaning healthy, and no joy above the joy of the heart. People get heart attacks because of their diet. You don't just wake up one day and get a heart attack. That took years of eating bad foods, not eating balanced foods, not exercising, not being active, and stress. This is cancers. Cancers come from diet, bad diet, or your surroundings. Excuse me. Oh, let me do this. 31 and 12. Go to 31 and 12. If thou sit at a bountiful table, and bountiful means all you can eat. The people that go to these all you can eat places, You can only eat so much food, but you pay the price, so you want to eat. It's like a contest. You want to see how much food you can stuff down your mouth. And that's gluttony. And them people that go to those places, trust me, they're out of slave. A lot of them fat is super fat, got to walk out with crutches. And they're walking around with crutches because they're so fucking fat. In wheelchairs, looking all messed up. If thou sit at a bountiful table, be not greedy upon it. All you can eat is wickedness, man. And say not, there is much meat on it. Oh, man, I'm gonna get. And you got these certain chain pizza shops. You got Domino's, and you got Papa John. We call it Papa Juan. You got Pizza Hut. This pizza chain. Then you got the regular pizza shop. Now you got on certain menus, you got a pie called the meat lovers pie, and they'll put 5 different kind of meat on that pie. You're gonna die soon, man. I guarantee you got trouble getting up in the morning. I guarantee you got trouble going to sleep. I guarantee you snore your ass off. I guarantee you constantly going to the doctor. So I'm going to read that again. If thou sit at a bountiful table, a golden corral, be not greedy upon it, and say not, there is much meat on it. Like I'm gonna go overboard. And that's also bad manners. You shouldn't eat to get food. I don't eat to get food. When you got to sit down, they call it ninja-itis. A so-called turkey day. Everybody eats, they watch the game, and then they sitting on the couch and they all fall asleep. And that's from the turkey, but the stuffing and the macaroni and cheese. Jake has a turkey, and they'll have pork in the collard greens, and the collard greens is overcooked because they'll have greasy pork up in there, and they'll have biscuits and rolls, sweet potato pie, macaroni and cheese, rice. And everything on there, you got the meat, you got the protein, and then you got nothing but carbs. And then sometimes niggas die on Thanksgiving, and they die because of the diet that they ate. This guy that played in the Sopranos, what's his name? Gandolfini. He was doing successful. He was very successful in that series on HBO. And he went out to Italy somewhere. And in Italy, they encourage you to eat. Yeah, eat, drink, eat, So this guy was eating his ass off, and he went to the bathroom, and he tried to make it to the toilet. He threw up, and he dropped dead, I think, on the toilet. And that was years ago, and I said, yeah, because the guy's heart rate, his pressure probably shot up in the sky. His heart rate went up. He had all that wine in him. He had a bad combination of foods. And that was the thing that killed him. That one meal killed him. Drinking wine, which is an intoxicant, eating a lot of carbs, eating a lot of meat, excessive meats. If thou sit at a bountiful table, a place where there's a lot of food, and they showed you that in that movie, what the hell is that movie? That Jake movie? What the hell was it called? Where it was based around a dinner. All these relatives getting together, and it was showing you all the different plates. LL Cool J was in it. There was a lot of actors in it. And when I saw that movie, I hated that fuck. I said, what kind of fucking movie is this? They were showing all kind of pork, all kind of, and they showed you that in what's this Fisher, Anton Fisher, whatever. Y'all saw those Negro movies, man. But what's that movie? They had the old woman, and she got her legs chopped off because of the goddamn food that she was eating. Even in the Boondocks, they mentioned that movie. In the movie, they were showing you a ham hock. They would show you a turkey. They would show you some cornbread. They would show you some collard greens with pork in it. And normally around holiday time, when you eating too goddamn much, a lot of niggas die. That's when the hospitals. That's when they make their money. During Thanksgiving, Christmas, during them times, man. New Year's, a lot of people drop dead on New Year's. Y'all did that shit on the Super Bowl, eating like it's your last meal. Let me read that again. If thou sit at a bountiful table, be not greedy upon it, and say not, there is much meat on it. I mean, I'm fixing to dig in. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna jump down to the 24th verse of the same chapter. All right, let me start at the 23rd verse. It says, whoso is liberal of his meats, men shall speak well of him. In other words, you got the guests over, you say, no, I'm cooking. And, back in the day, we used to cook. Me and Apostle Ramla, we used to cook for the brothers, especially on, we would do the New Year's Eve of destruction. And we would cook, a lasagna, big ass lasagna. And some, but we don't. You can't, brother. You can't eat lasagna, man. Lasagna is too much carbs, too much. If you're gonna eat a lasagna, a healthy lasagna, you better walk for 2 weeks. You better do a 3-mile walk every other day or every day, and exercise and change your diet up. That's a lot of calories right there. Whoso is liberal of his meat, men shall speak well of him, and the report of his good housekeeping will be believed. Meaning, yeah, when we go to that brother's house, man, he hooks up the food or whatever the case may be, and they say, yeah, that food, that meal that we had, boy, I can't wait till we go to the crib the next time, It said, but against him that is a niggard, and I look up the word niggard, of his meat, the whole city shall murmur, and the testimonies of his niggardness shall not be doubted upon. But against him that is a niggard of his meat, you got a nigga that's always eating. Them fat motherfuckers, the big fat, I'm not, because brothers are overweight, so I'm not snapping on y'all. But people that are out of shape, they're always eating something. They go into the car, they got a big gulp, what you call it, a Slurpee, a Gulpy, whatever the hell you call it, from 7-Eleven. And that right there, that big gulp, the big gulp of Coca-Cola, that right there is like 500 calories right there, man. And I was watching Alex Jones, and he was saying, yeah, my wife, she's going to make a lasagna tonight. And then when he said that, I said, I see why your ass is so fat. Cause that lasagna, you're gonna have one plate, then you're gonna have another plate, man. Then you're gonna go to sleep. And you're talking about that might be 5,000 calories. And then after that, you're going right to sleep. You can die in your sleep, man. Another problem is acid reflux. That means the acid in your, because you eat too much acidic food. Italian food is acidic, and it comes up. A lot of people died from acid reflux, man. Oh, a lot of people, y'all didn't notice, but a lot of people die because they're sleeping in their bed. They got the covers over them. You know how you toss and turn? Sometimes people toss and turn, and they choke, and they hang themselves off of the sheet. Because and they don't even realize they drop dead. That's a fact. That's a big a way a lot of people die. They toss and turn, and they choke themselves out. That's why I sleep a certain way. I sleep over the sheets. If I have the sheet on me, I have it partially on me. So if I roll, the the sheet fall off of me. You know? Yeah, look it up. Look it up. Okay. Next precept. See, back in the day, man, I used to always, when we were speaking, we used to always go to the Apocrypha. We used to always go to the Apocrypha. So let's see what this says. Let me see. Give me a second. Okay, that's to the 30th verse. It says, be not insatiable in any dainty thing, nor take, or nor too greedy, nor too greedy upon meats. So we're gonna look up that word dainty. Let me do this. Let me okay, this is the context. Okay, it says here, be not unsatiable in any dainty thing, nor too greedy upon meats. For excess of meats bringeth sickness. You could eat meat, but you can't eat too much meat. And surfeiting, what does that mean? Partying. I'm going to look that up. Will turn into chola. Surfeit. By surfeiting, I'm sorry, have many perished, died. But he that taketh heed prolongeth his life. So now let's look up the word surfeiting. I'm gonna look it up in the King James. I'm gonna look it up into the in the dictionary. I'm gonna Google it. All right. So now we know what a telomere is. Now we know what free radicals are. Okay, so I'm not going to put Bible. I'm just going to put common dictionary. Surfeiting causes someone to desire no more of something as a result of having consumed or done it to excess. I'm surfeiting with shopping, meaning you buying stuff, and that's what your women do. You gotta stay away from these women. You gotta be the boss. There's a video of Anton Daniels that put up a video of this chick that's an LPN. I did a video on it, and she got a husband. She makes $11,000 a month, and even her husband contributes to the bills. And when she pays off, she got a list of all those bills. She got all those credit card bills. She got this, she got that, a car, a house, or this. And at the end, when everything was said and done, she's left with $30. I think $30.86. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, here it is right here. This is it right here. It's this chick. And she's a good looking woman, and you know, that so she can get a man. But she's making 11,000. He said 10,000. I'm sorry. I said 11,000 a month. I should have said she's making 100,000 plus a year. It says married LPN woman making 100,000 plus a year is broke. Can't stay out of was that Sephora Ulta credit cards. Yeah, one of the lists was all the credit card things. I got to pay 100 on this, 200 on that, 60 on this. I got a new couch. I was 60 a month on that. And this is what she's left with. This is what she's left with. A woman that makes $11,000, grosses $11,000, $12,000 a month, and when she pays all the bills, including her husband contributing almost $2,000 because she takes care of the bills, she's left with $30, not even $31. That's your net income, your net worth. They say that black women, their net worth means, so after you pay all your bills, what are you left with? She ain't even got money to put in the bank. She ain't saving money. She's literally living paycheck to paycheck. Net worth is what you're left with after you take care of all your rent, your this, your that, your cable, your electric, whatever, your food, your clothing, whatever, your credit cards, your loans or whatever. They said the average black woman's net worth is $5. That's why when you take them out, they don't want to pay for nothing. They ain't got nothing to pay. They ain't got nothing to pay for. So, if I deal with a woman, I take her out. Back in the day, of course I'm gonna pay for it. That's just me. I'm from the old school. I'll pay for it, man. But I'm not gonna pay all your bills. Unless I'm living under your roof, I'll take care of it, baby. I got the cable. Don't worry, baby. I got your phone bill. Don't worry, baby. You got the rent or whatever the case may be. And then if she want to kick me out, she's gonna think twice. She said, "Wait a minute, man. Half of my bills is being paid for, but I'm living under her roof or whatever the case may be." If you pay her bills, she want to get rid of you. She gonna think twice. But this is a goddamn shame. Now if they doubled her pay, if she made 250, more than double, if she made 250,000 a year, guess what? She'd still be broke at the end of the month. Tell me I'm lying. If she hit the lotto, for $10 million, she'll be broke inside of a year, guaranteed. Jake goes broke. Jake in the NBA. Jake. That's part of the curses. They go broke. And why you think Floyd is constantly fighting? Because he keeps spending that money like it's going like a drunken sailor. This guy's a billionaire a couple of times over, but he spends his money. He wastes a lot of money. He got about I don't even know how many cars he got. He got a couple hundred cars. He got in Florida, I think all his cars are white. In Las Vegas, I think all the cars are black. In California, I think all the cars are red, or whatever the case may be. And he don't use them cars. If you got 1,000 cars, how in the hell can you drive around with 1,000 cars? Jay gets money like to blow their goddamn money, man. Janet Jackson, right? She had married this Arab guy, which is a multi-billionaire, and they had a prenuptial agreement that she has to stay with this guy for 5 years, and if they break up after 5 years, I think the report was $5 billion, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody help me out. Some other things said it was so many hundreds of millions, but if I'm not mistaken, it was $5 billion. She stayed with this man, had an Ishmaelite baby with this man. I think it was 5 years and 3 months, because that was after the 5 years. She said, "You know what? I don't love you no more," and not so many words. So he had to, fulfill the agreement and give her whatever the case might be. I believe it was $5 billion, if I'm not mistaken. Well, she just recently went on tour. Why you think she went on tour? Because she blew all that fucking money. How the fuck you gonna blow $5 billion? I don't know the backstory, but that's Jake in general, man. That's Jake in general. One of the only guys that stick out in my mind is Michael Jordan. He's still making millions and millions and millions. Because my MJ is a brand name, man. He makes money off of his name. He sits down to do an interview with somebody. He do a commercial. He does an interview. He does anything. That's money because of the name, because of his name. So like I said, if she made If she hit the lotto for $50 million, she'll be broke inside of a couple years. Because she'll keep spending. That's the problem with you, Jakes. You're undisciplined when it comes to money, when it comes to living, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to health, eating right. Okay, so I said, let me do this. Let me come back over here. Come back over here. Bear with me for a minute. Okay, I wanted to go on the surfing thing, right? Surfing thing. Chambering. Surfing thing meaning in the Bible. A surfing thing means indulging in one's appetites excessively. It could be food or drink or many other things. This world, especially in its advertising, it's pushing the overuse of our appetites all the time. So coming back to that sister that's an LPN, that's a form of surfeiting, man. So let me do this. All right, give me a second. I'll do it this way. Okay, I'm gonna go to the regular scriptures here. Okay, let me see. All right, Luke 21, verse 34. And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that they come upon you unawares. You out there clubbing and doing what you got to do. Let me go to surfeiting. 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 Okay, the giddiness and headaches caused by drinking wine to excess. Let me go to the root. Chambering is another word, going out there partying. Okay, let me go to chambering. Riot, excess. That goes into the spirit of Bacchus, or what's another name for Bacchus was Dionysus. Romans 13:13. Let us walk honestly as in the day, not in rioting and drunkenness, not in chambering and wantonness, not in strife and envying. So let's look up the word. Let's pull out some words here. The best life to live when you're in this truth is to be a Stoic. Stoic is found in the book of Acts 17 and also Epicurean. A guy that likes to go out and party and get drunk and go to clubs and hang out and do this, and you got enough money, you go around the world. That's an Epicurean. A Stoic is a disciplinarian. He can be worth $100 million, but he lives a very frugal life. He lives a very stoic, disciplined life. Okay, let us walk honestly. Not rioting. Let's look up the word rioting. Rioting. A nocturnal, which means the night, and riotous possession of half-drunken and frolicsome fellows who after supper parade through the streets with torches and music in honor of Bacchus or some other deity, and sing and play before houses of male and female friends, hence used generally of feasts and drinking parties that are protracted until late at night and indulge in revelry. That's part going out there partying, going to the club. Let me see something. Let me look up the word Bacchus. Bear with me for a minute. Let me do this. Bacchus and Dionysus is the same. Okay, Bacchus. Okay, Bacchus is not in there. Maybe the spelling is different. Or maybe it's Dionysus. Let me do this. I didn't hit Apocrypha, so. Okay, boom, we found it. It says 2 Maccabees 6 verse 7 and 2 Maccabees 14 verse 33. And in the day of the king's birth, every month there were brought by bitter constraint to eat of the sacrifices, and when the fast, that was pork, and when the fast or the feast of Bacchus was kept, the Jews were compelled to go in procession to Bacchus carrying ivy. Now, what they did, this is what the Greeks did, and this is what the Ptolemaic dynasty did. The ivy leaf represented the going to Bacchus and Dionysus, and you would have to get that branding iron of ivy leaf on your arm, which that's where he got these fraternities. You know, black Greeks, they all get that thing. That goes back to Bacchus and or Dionysus. It says here in the 2nd Maccabees 14 verse 33, he stretched out his right hand toward the temple and made an oath in this manner, if ye will not deliver me Yahweh as a prisoner, I will lay this temple of the Most High even to the ground, and I will break down the altar and erect a notable temple unto Bacchus. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Bacchus. Bacchus in Greek mythology was a god of wine and vegetation. He showed mortals how to cultivate grapevines and make wine. As the son of Zeus, Bacchus is usually characterized in one of two ways. First, as a god of vegetation, specifically of the fruit of the tree, because from the fruit, the grapevine, you get wine, you drink wine, you get drunk, and you party. You say, let me loosen up, give me a drink. Are Bacchus and Dionysus the same person? Yes, they are. Let's see what it says. Originally, Dionysus was a Greek god of fertility, which is sex. Later, he became to be known chiefly as the god of wine and pleasure, which is sex. The Romans called him Bacchus. Dionysus was the son of the supreme god Zeus, and Semele, the daughter of a king, which this Bacchus never existed. It's a made up god. So Israelites had to go out there and party in the name of Dionysus and or Bacchus. You gotta eat, drink, eat, drink, and be merry. That's where they come from. You have the Mardi Gras, you have Fat Tuesdays in New Orleans. You got the Mardi Gras down there in Brazil. Where you think they got that from? Okay. So let me come back to some of these precepts. Give me a second here. Okay, I'm back. Like I said, there's no way I can hit all these precepts. Okay, let me come back over here to 37:29. Come on now. Okay, let me do this. Revelation 18. One of my favorite breakdowns. Revelation 18 is a closing credit for Esau going down. Like in the movie, that last scene of the Apocalypse Now. That's the place was bombed out, fire. You saw the credits going. That's Revelation 18 right there. Okay, let me do this. Okay, I believe this is it. Okay, and the fruit that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. Okay, so let me look up the word dainty. All things which are dainty. The word there is liparos.
Strong's G 3045. Leparas. Leparas.
Liparas, which the root goes back to lepos, which is grease. So what do you think dainties is? Deep fried foods. Jake liked to eat deep fried foods. And that's not healthy for you at all. Things which pertain to sumptuous and delicate style of living. So the rich used to eat deep fried foods. When you go to the book of Daniel, the king's food, Daniel did the experiment. It was a 10-day experiment. He had half of the men eat the king's meat or the king's food, and the other half eat a plant-based diet. And I believe it was 10 days after they pulled them together, and they noticed that the ones that ate a plant-based diet, it said post, which is a plant-based diet, no meats, no breads, nothing like that, no rice, plant-based green diet. And they said they were far healthier than the ones that ate the king's meat, because the king was eating what? He was eating a lot of fatty foods, a lot of deep fried, a lot of carbs. So really, we shouldn't be eating no fried foods. I haven't ate fried anything in other words, put it in grease, flour, and then dip it in grease and deep fry it. I mean, it's tasty. Let me come back over here. Let me look up the word delicacies. Okay, delicacies. So we found out dainties, or dainty means deep fried foods. You know, you got these people now, they'll deep fry a Snicker bar. They'll put it in flour, and they'll dip it in deep fried oil. Hey, chicken and waffles. Chicken and waffles. Why you think niggas be killing themselves? Because they be eating chicken and waffles. That's a terrible combination. You got carbs, you got fried chicken, and the flour and the deep fried chicken. That's nothing but carbs. And then you got waffles, which is nothing but carbs. And then you got syrup. That's why niggas, you look at a nigga the wrong way, he blow you away, because he's eating fucking, chicken and waffles. That's the worst thing that you could eat. These niggas go off like that because of their diet. Your diet fucks with your brain. It messes up your brain cells, son. It messes up your brain cells. So it says, Revelation 18:3. Let me go right to it. Okay, merchants of the earth wax rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And by the way, all these major American companies, like you got McDonald's, Burger King, you got KFC, you got all these fast food restaurants. They're all in the other side, on the other side of the world. They're in Japan, they're in China, they're in Egypt. When you go to watch the pyramids in Egypt, when you turn the camera around, you got all those American fast food restaurants. Because what do people in the other states do? They want to be Americanized, which is part of the fornication in Revelation 17:4. So I'm going to look up the word delicacies. It says here deliciously, right? It says here delicacies. Let's look up the word delicacies. Abundance of her delicacies. Abundance meaning having a lot of. And when Jake get money, what do? They don't go to what's this Burlington Coat Factory. they'll go to Louis Vuitton. They'll get all the name brand stuff. They don't buy Fords. They don't buy Chevys. They'll get Maybachs. They go crazy with the money. Okay, so it says excessive of strength, which long to break forth, over strength, luxury, eager desire. You eager to buy this thing. You know, you buy a pair of kicks. You can't get a $50 pair of kicks or $100 pair of kicks. The average price is like $100 to get a pair of kicks, name brand kicks. Jake will get some shit that's $1,000, $2,000. Polite got a pair of kicks. I forget the company name. It had all kind of zippers and shit on it, and I believe it was $1,500 or $2,500 for them kicks, and he got them. He got them. Because what was he doing? He was ripping. He was scamming people to get all that money to live a certain luxurious lifestyle. But what did that all? He figured I can do what I'm untouchable. I can do what I want to do. He said I'm gonna get this little girl, which he said he was gonna send the Bloods and Crips after us because we said what we said about the grape, which he's guilty of that, man. So now that nigga he doing 7 years. He gonna be in jail when the missiles hit. He gonna be in jail when the missiles hit, and he gonna get ate a missile because he came against the prophets of the Lord. And now in the so-called conscious community, they don't even mention his name. It's like he never existed. Check that out. But look at how he was living. And Jake fell for it too. Okay, where am I? I'm all over the place now. I'll read a couple more. Okay, so this one is but you got the list in front of you. You're gonna copy the list and read the rest of the precepts. I don't have to hold you by the hand. Okay, and they hanged the infants about their necks and raffled their houses and slew them that had circumcised them. I'm sorry. Is that the right precept? Okay, they will kill them because they wasn't circumcised as their children. I think I got. They were. Let me do it this way. Let me do it this way. Let me do it this way. Let me put in the word swine. Okay, give me a second here. Okay, that's 61. Okay, it says Eleazar, one of the principal scribes, an aged man and of a well-favored countenance, was constrained to open his mouth and to eat swine flesh. First Maccabees 1 verse 47, set up altars and groves and chapels of idols and sacrifice swine flesh and unclean beasts. So they had put a swine in the temple. It came to pass, second Maccabees 7 and 1, it came to pass also that 7 brethren with their mother were taken, and is used a strong woman, compelled by the king against the Lord to taste swine flesh, and were tormented with scourges and whips. So that was a strong woman. Because everybody going to be tested when that charagma come. Okay. These here go into herbs that they ate. Ezra was out in the field and he was eating herbs. That's in this precept right here. It's also in this precept, 2nd Ezra 12 verse 51. He ate herbs. 2nd Maccabees 5 verse 27. Maccabees and them was eating herbs. But Judas Maccabees, with 9 others, or thereabout, withdrew himself into the wilderness and lived in the mountains after the manner of beasts with his company, who fed on herbs continually, lest they should be partakers of the pollution. There's certain things that you eat that are poisons, that you use herbs to get that poison out of your system. So in order for him to eat the proper herbs, he had to know the herbs. So Judas Maccabees, he knew the herbs. He was a physician. And y'all got to know how to heal yourself, man. I'm going to jump around a little bit. Okay, right here, this is Ezra eating herbs. 2nd Ezra 12 verse 51, and also 2nd, is it any place? 2nd Ezra 9 verse 26. Okay, 1 Corinthians 6 verse 19 and 20. So it's no excuse for you not to know how to somewhat heal yourself. I didn't get sick this year. Now, I don't know what's going to happen in the next 2-3 weeks. I can get sick in the springtime or whatever, or the summer. But this winter, what we got 10 more days, 11 more days before March come in. We went through December, January, we in February, a little bit past mid-February. And I ain't get sick. First Corinthians 9 1 Corinthians 6 verse 19 and verse 20. What? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit, which is in you, which ye have of the Most High, and ye are not your own, for ye are bought with a price. Therefore, glory the Most High in your body. How do you glory the Most High in your body? By taking care of your body. And in your spirit, which are the Most High's. And right away, this came to mind. 1 Corinthians 3 verse 16. Know ye not that ye are the temples of the Most High, and that the Spirit of the Most High dwelleth in you? If any man defile the temple, which is you, your body, of the Most High, him shall the Most High destroy. That's why a lot of guys, you get sick all the time. Some people even die because it's based upon the diet. For the temple of the Most High is holy, which temple ye are. I went a little long. I'm going to get ready to cut it short. But you got the rest of these precepts here. Oh, you got Deuteronomy, uh, all the diseases that were not mentioned in Egypt, and you got the sea, ragamuffin, you got AIDS, you got all these different diseases that's not even mentioned in the scriptures. That people, Jake be dying of all these diseases, right along with Esau. A lot of people died because they took the jump shot, because they wasn't in tune with the spirit. Anyway, you got the picture right there. So you got the rest of these precepts. And I'm going to save this. So let me do this here. Let me go. Let me just put in health. Copy. And with that, I'm going to say shalom. On to the next one.